How would you feel if I told you that as a leader, you're biased? I know. Clutchless goals. Recently, I did a study and I investigated how unconscious bias has been affecting the leadership styles and experiences of team members within a certain sector of Caribbean-based organizations. And the truth is that, as expected, unconscious bias has been permeating in the way that many leaders lead their team, see their people, and ultimately it is hindering you from being able to get the results that you're looking for. My name is Hayes-Burke. I'm the Chief Business Strategist and founder of DHB Vision Strategist, and I welcome you to the Leadership Corner. Today, I really want to address the reality that in a lot of instances, as leaders, we make suppositions and assumptions about people on the basis of certain factors, their gender, their ethnicity, and in the case of this particular video, the generation that they belong to, meaning their age group. We are in unprecedented times in the world of work. The workforce dynamic looks much different. For the first time ever, we have as many as 5 generations who are involved in the operations of an organization in different sectors. And when I say involved in the operations, it is from the board level to the entry level. When that happens, what innately occurs is that the differences among the generations are amplified and the similarities are oversimplified. And so as a leader, without even recognizing it, you do these mental shortcuts and these qualifications of what members of your team can do or people within your organization can do on the basis and a stereotype and or an unconscious bias. The reality is, though, that because it's an unconscious bias, it happens without you recognizing it. You don't recognize how pervasive it is in your decision-making process, and you don't recognize that it is in fact prohibiting you from seeing opportunities that can actually solve a problem that you are facing right now. So what are some of the generational stereotypes that we've uncovered? What are some of the biases that we have observed in this study? But firstly, as it relates to the younger generations, particularly the millennials and the Gen Z generation, there is so much of an oversimplification of the value add of these generations that you as a leader, you are missing a vital opportunity right now to access their unique ways of thinking, to access their innate talents, to access personality traits that may be beneficial to the problem that you are trying to solve right now. So what is this unconscious bias that we've observed? Simply put, most leaders see millennials and Gen Zs as primarily tech savvy. That is their main contribution to the office dynamic. We've also recognized that there is a little bit of a misconception and unconscious bias that's directed towards them as it relates to their desire for advancement, promotion, and work-life integration. Isn't that funny, though, that most of you as leaders will now articulate that work-life integration, or what you would have called work-life balance, is something that is so important. But the fact that persons who are now entering the workspace are desirous of having that from the inception of their career, you find that to be something that is a bit reprehensible and difficult to understand. It's something to think about. Because that mindset around this particular generation, as seen in the study, has really prohibited their ability to engage in your organization, their ability to buy into your leadership, and ultimately has prohibited your ability to build a high-performing team. In fact, I want to say this to you. The truth is that the majority of the workforce will soon comprise of mainly millennials and Gen Zers. And if you are one of the senior executive managers who are presiding over them, if you continue to lead them from the perspective of a stereotype or bias, you are going to continue to miss vital growth opportunities. In the same way, we have the converse that is also happening, where there are millennial leaders who see Gen Xers and boomers who may be in their spaces as being slow being out of touch, not necessarily technologically savvy. And similarly, you are also missing opportunities to leverage institutional knowledge. Let us be real. In most organizations, the history of the organizations is stored within whom? And while the external dynamic may have changed, the core values, the raison d'etre of that organization continues to remain with those people who have helped build it. So as a millennial leader, how can you leverage that know-how? How can you get access to that know-how and then couple it with your new ideations of opportunities that exist so that you can get results? That is what your unconscious bias is presently prohibiting you from accessing. At the end of the day, this is what I want you to recognize. One, that we all have unconscious biases that are operating and flowing within the way that we experience the world. It is not because we are bad people, but it's because we have chosen to navigate this world with mental shortcuts that are informed by things that sometimes are outside of our control. But secondly, I want you to recognize that at the end of the day, right now, this configuration of the workforce has the most powerful ingredients for any organization and any leader who is willing and able to maximize on the strengths that are within you. So the current workforce dynamic of having as much as 5 generational teams within your organization really presents for you the opportunity to create and to harness powerful strengths that no other leader before you may have been able to harness. The truth is, you simply have to uncover what those unconscious biases are, identify the stereotypes that are prohibiting you from maximizing on these strengths, and utilize this new insight, utilize this new access to build a powerful new team dynamic that fosters innovation, that drives creativity, that enhances performance, and ultimately builds you the strongest version of your team that you have ever met. If you want to figure out your level of unconscious bias and how it's affecting your leadership style, check the link in the bio to take a free quiz that will help you in this area. Thanks for watching and see you soon.